RUBEN AMORIM, born January 27, 1985 in Lisbon, Portugal, is a Portuguese international footballer turned coach. He is the current manager of the English club Manchester United FC. In 2008, RUBEN AMORIM was transferred to Benfica Lisbon and returned to the Lisbon club in exchange for a transfer fee of €900,000, signing a 5-year contract. He would be crowned Portuguese champion 2 years later, in 2010, with the club. At the end of January 2012, RUBEN AMORIM was loaned to Sporting Braga following a conflict with his coach at Benfica. During the 2012-13 season, he was loaned back to Braga. The 2013-14 season marked his return to Benfica Lisbon, where he was mostly a substitute, although Jorge Jesus regularly brought him on as a substitute. He was loaned back to Qatar, where he played for Al Wakrah during the 2015-16 season. He returned to the country at the end of the season, to Benfica Lisbon, where he ended his career in the B team on April 4, 2017. At 32 years old, he was forced to end his playing career after 150 matches with Benfica and 14 national selections due to repeated injuries. AMORIM earned 10 caps for the Portugal under-21 team between 2005 and 2008. RUBEN AMORIM was selected by Carlos Queiroz to participate in the 2010 World Cup with Portugal, following Nani's withdrawal due to injury. He played one match during this tournament, the first group match against Côte d'Ivoire, coming on in the 85th minute. This was his first cap on June 15, 2010. 4 years after his first World Cup, he was called up for the 2014 World Cup, but did not play a single match. AMORIM earned 14 caps for the Portugal national team between 2010 and 2014.
Coaching retraining.
Sanctioned debut at Casa Pia. 2 years after retiring from playing, RUBEN AMORIM began his coaching career at Casa Pia during the 2018-2019 Liga 3 season, the third division. In January 2019, he resigned after the Portuguese Football Federation sanctioned the club, and its coach, AMORIM, had coached 2 matches without yet having the necessary qualifications. The club was penalized with a 6-point penalty in the league, and RUBEN AMORIM was fined €2,600 and banned from coaching for 1 year. In May 2019, the CAS overturned all convictions. The team launched by AMORIM won the championship and was promoted at the end of the season, nonetheless. 8 months after leaving Casa Pia, RUBEN AMORIM had a brief stint at the Centro Social e Desportivo de Câmara de Lobos.
Breakthrough with SC Braga.
In September 2019, RUBEN AMORIM returned to SC Braga as reserve team coach, where he achieved 8 wins in 11 matches. On December 23, 2019, RUBEN was invited to replace Ricardo Sapinto as head coach of SC Braga, signing a 2.5-year contract. AMORIM took charge of the technical direction of a first division team for the first time. On his debut, he beat Belenenses 7-1, and since then, he has not been defeated in the Premier League. With the first team, he coordinated 13 matches, winning 10 and drawing 1. His only 2 defeats came in the Europa League round of 32 against Rangers, 3-2 and 0-1. In 33 days at the helm of Braga, he eliminated Sporting CP 2-1 in the semi-finals and beat FC Porto 1-0 in the final to win the League Cup in January 2020. He also defeated Benfica in the league. During the 2019-2020 season, he enabled the emergence of Francisco Trincao, launched David Carmo in a lasting way, and made João Palhinha and Paulinho key players, whom he later brought to Sporting CP.
Confirmation at the Sporting CP.
Only a few months after the successful debut at SC Braga, on March 4, 2020, Sporting CP signed him for €10 million, the value of his release clause, to replace Jorge Silas 8. He was then the 3rd most expensive coach in history. At Sporting, he made his debut against Club Desportivo das Aves in a 2-0 victory. In his second season at Sporting, he won 3 titles: the League Cup in January 2021, then the League Cup, a first in 19 years, as well as the Candido de Oliveira Super Cup during the summer. In the Europa League, the team suffered a bitter disappointment, as after a 1-0 victory against Aberdeen in the preliminary round, they lost in the playoffs against Austrian side LSK 4-1. Sporting extended his contract in March 2021 until 2024 with a €30 million release clause. RUBEN AMORIM made his debut in the Champions League as a coach during the 2021-2022 season. On November 24, 2021, he made Sporting history by leading the team to the round of 16 of the Champions League for only the second time in the club's history. To achieve this, He helped his team overtake Borussia Dortmund in Group C with a 3-1 victory on the penultimate matchday, a 0-5 defeat followed by a 0-0 draw against Manchester City. He won his second League Cup with the club, his third in a row personally, as well as the Portuguese Super Cup at the start of the following season. In the 2022-2023 Champions League, his Sporting finished third in Group D, being relegated to the Europa League. In the Champions League, the team eliminated Arsenal on penalties and was then knocked out in the quarter-finals by Juventus, 2-1 on aggregate. In the 2023-2024 Europa League, Sporting finished second in their group behind Atlanta, who then eliminated them in the round of 16, 3-2 on aggregate, before winning the competition. As of April 2024, AMORIM was among the coaches sought by Liverpool FC for the next season, succeeding Jurgen Klopp. He won a second league title, the 20th in the history of the SCP, both for the club and over the last 40 years. In June 2024, he attracted the attention of several English clubs such as Liverpool and West Ham United FC.
Departure for Manchester United.
On November 1, 2024, Manchester United FC announced that AMORIM, subject to his work visa, would take charge of the first team starting November 11, 2024.